At least I'm getting better. The flu is it's getting sunnier by the as we enter into the month of August, which is well known here in Kenya as a sunny month, but yet it's still a little bit chilly. Um, yeah. So today, I hope you had a lovely time working, studying, going on your business, minding your own business. Um, tonight's topic is a little bit sensitive about children's welfare, and I mean both male and girl child and boy child, because here in Kenya we have had an expose just has been recently released by BBC about children being trafficked in a transit town where mostly it's the hub for distance between Mombasa to Kisumu and Uganda and Central Africa and DRC. Truck drivers being customers to the madams who are pimping out, for for not lack of a better word, it's just simple pimping out young girls, uh, pre-teens and newly teens. Then we have had these cases of even families. You'll hear stories, they're horrific, of even boy children. When you hear that kids went for a sleepover at a friend's house, then the boy child was sodomized or raped by the man of that family or the family friend, and then the case is not going anywhere. Then I try to question, when did we stop protecting kids? Because pedophiles hide in plain sight. Um, we knew, like most of the people in the world, in their family, they they have that weird uncle that comments on the body development of a child, which seems off, and then it's just brushed off as, no, he's just like that. I remember when I was young, they'll say, oh yeah, she has started having boobs, and I'm like, wait, what? My mom would not entertain such comments. If she had that, she'll put it. She used to stop it right there. Uh, then, then you wonder, yeah. And let me say, like statistically, I might be wrong, I might be right, I might be there. Um, that most people who are abused, or most children who are abused, they're abused by somebody they know. High possibility somebody in their small circle or your or the parent circle. Hi, Shaib Shoaib Komba, welcome. You're from Pakistan. I'm from Kenya. Welcome. In case of any comments on the topic that you're speaking on, or any experience you like to share, please do. So yeah, most of the people are abused by people they know. Even when you hear stories of survivors, you'll hear that they knew the person, or because they could be able to intimidate them to keep quiet for the longest time. So it's somebody who's known to either the family or the child for the longest time. We have had, just the other day, we heard of the story in South Africa that it involved a school staff member. And I'm like, wow, children, where you expect children to be safe in schools and at home, yet those places have also turned out to be battlefields. I'm from Kenya, so if that's happening to the places that we assume because of the population, because of they have been trained properly. That's the place the children are safe. We have even heard of churches, and I'm not shy to say, because I've had a story from the church I used to attend, and the person that was the culprit will have never crossed my mind that that's how he does it. It was a gentleman, and he had abused the boy, and which was so shocking, because he was in charge of counseling young men when the process of most of Kenyan communities, when boys turn 14, they go through circumcision with nearly every culture in Kenya. So he was one of the uh, counselors and guidance in that procession. So it was shocking to find out that he had abused some of the boys. And I was like, wow, the person who parents trusted and let them live with them for some time, because before the circumcision um, function or ceremony, they go for talks, like a retreat, that they're taught how to, is it behave, how to be after circumcision, how to nurse their wound for them to get better as quickly as possible after that, or how to behave, because it's a transit from childhood to adulthood. So the things, the expectations, they're expected to behave and be like, from now, when you come from childhood and become an adult, the things that you're supposed to do and not to do. And that's the person who was left with most of the boys. And some of them maybe might be on vulnerable times. That's when maybe the family issues, they might try to open up about, and you take advantage of when kids are being vulnerable before even becoming an adult. It was so out there. Then you hear of, recently in Kenya, girls high school teachers. Um, we have this thing. When you're in boarding, let me explain, since I did go to a boarding school, all girls boarding school. Whenever we open school from holiday breaks or midterm break, uh, we because there was a rule by law countrywide, except now for the private schools. I was in a public boarding school. They didn't allow snacks, um, because food is provided at school. So you just do with what is provided at school. And also, most of the high schools have shops, and some of them are well equipped, filled up with the snacks that you want to buy. So you buy it from your pocket money, or maybe they have just one thing they're selling from the shop. For our school, we did have biscuits. In other countries, cookies, but it's biscuits. Biscuits, bread, and sweets. And on occasion, sodas. In other schools, there's a school we went to, it was a national school, and their shop was a supermarket. It was like a mini mart, had nearly everything that they needed. So, yeah, differences. So when you walk into our gates, our school had a long driveway before you reach the administration and the classrooms. So before you go to that long driveway, which was adjacent to the playing field, at the gate, you enter, turn right to the playing field, get body searched, get body searched as we were patted down. Some schools I hear they're body searched, which was whew, wow. And for us, because it was a girls' school, the teachers who did the searches were ladies. And I think that helped. Um, they patted us down so that we don't hide. You know, young people, we come up, with various ways to sneak things in. Uh, when you have a sweater, the school sweater, when you fold it down here neatly, that's where people used to hide in the fold area. Others will put in their bras. They knew how to stack them up. If they had good bras, they'll protect that. Uh, I've heard of stories which was insane. We heard of stories of girls sneaking in alcohol through tampons. And I'm not saying in a packet. Yeah, use your imagination for that. Uh, but in our school, nah, alcohol, they did sneak it in, but through the fence, because our school, the high school, was next to a primary school that was mixed, and it was a day school. So they will send through the fence, give the kids money, they go buy the alcohol, which now I understand why Nakada wants to uplift the age of buying alcohol. They buy the alcohol, bring it, give them a small token, and people will be buzzed at night when we are doing preps. So body parted, bags searched, if you had a backpack, and if you came with shopping, obviously your toiletries, for the time maybe you were previously in school, have diminished, so you needed to top up the toiletries that you don't have, or you wanted more of the ones that you already have. They check them, and then if you're cleared, you walk the driveway to the school. If you're not, you're just told to wait. And then because our school reporting time, the last before the gate was closed, was by 5 you should be inside the school compound. And it was 5, yeah, 5, no, 4. Wow, 4. Nowadays I hear it's at 1, which is also commended, because I remember when we were high school, young girls, your parent releases you from home at 8 in the morning, and the girl reports like at 3, like 1 hour prior. They get closing, or 30 minutes prior, or 20 minutes, because they passed to see their boyfriends. I was a good girl. My mom, my mom on that day will. That's when we usually went for shopping, to do our shopping, and the day of opening, and I go and do my hair, straighten it up, uh, and then she releases me to the bus station. There was no in between. So releases me. I go to school. I didn't have the mental capacity of saying, oh, let me pass by somebody who lives somewhere else. Nah. Hi, Martin. Welcome. No, I didn't see you. Sorry. Slow burn, kumi na nne bora. What do you mean by that? That's 14 bora. What does that mean? Uh, then, um, so yeah, they will sneak whatever they sneaked to school. So when I was saying like the teachers were doing body searches, are we in an airport? I thought that's the most highly security place to do body searches, but high school. And then it's a male teacher doing it to girls, and and ladies also doing to the young boys. That doesn't seem right. And also, it doesn't mean that the same sex cannot abuse the, the same sex, which has been heard of also. Uh, so then I ask, we have allowed pedophiles to be in the world and incorporate and do the weirdest things and still be accepted. When are we going to say, let's protect these children? That aside about abuse, then we have this. Then there's a sad part that I think it's a loophole where money is passed by or grabbed. Because tell me why in every country there's a child welfare institute or policies set aside, and people who are supposed to protect child's rights and protect the children of their country. And yet we also have the biggest governing body of UN Child, UNSHR. Did I say it right? That one. And kids in Gaza are dying of hunger. They're dying of contamination. They're dying of exposure. They're dying of the bombings that are happening. And yet we have not even heard of any statement. Then the leaders who are just crazy about power decide to bomb schools and hospitals. I think some people are just crazy. Simple. We always joke in our country, we say that our country is full of crazies. That's why the whole country is an asylum. Which is true somehow, but to the extent of now, while leaders, international leaders, just they're quiet and decide not to help children to be protected. Here's a clever thought. If you had a, and I keep on saying, if a president and a president have a disagreement, let them fight in a boxing range. A boxing range or a bullpen, and out whatever they want to show. If they want to show how much they are masculine or how much they're machos, fight it off and leave the rest of the innocent people be. And another thing that I noticed, we have seen of reports of US crackdowns finding children being trafficked in a house. And here's the weirdest thing, that the officials were what's called investigating the said house for some time, and they noticed that kids were being brought there and they were being abused. And they took months before rescuing them. Like, what the hell? Tell me. So they, yeah, if you think of it, your brain will just be popping with, okay, you are there on the lookout to investigate a house that was hosting underage children being abused, and you waited to collect data for your investigations so that you can arrest the culprits. After how many people have abused them? Did you arrest all of them? Or you just arrested the hosts, the house, forgetting the rest of them who are coming to do whatever they were doing? We complain about internet is not safe for kids and all that. The dark web, actually. But also the normal web is also crazy, because even if you put restrictions, the suggested videos that pop up, okay, they're taking a step of trying to uh, register the people who are underage and those who are over age, so that the suggestion or the algorithms doesn't mess up and send the wrong people the wrong thing. Oh my. Yeah, it's getting crazier and crazier day in, day out. um Parents have that fear right now of where to leave their children. Even you find parents have become, which is somehow good and somehow not so good, the attached to their children, that the children cannot be independent. and also there's too much dependent on the parent, that they cannot be standing on their own and fighting their own battles. Wow. uh, I'll say for the millennials and Generation X, which are millennials, I think. Oh, millennials are Y. Uh, then Generation X and going back, sorry to say, some of the bullying that happened in school really helps people how to stand up for themselves. Sorry to say. I know right now people are very sensitive. Um, or when you say you comment or give your opinion, you might be shaming them, or if you're just airing whatever or answering a question, you might have, then you're told you're saying it wrong or you're offending some people. I like my grandmother, they don't care. My grandmother's age don't care. You get offended or not, as long as you learn from that experience, that's on you. Um, then Tim say upiga makeup. I don't do makeup, so if you're looking for makeups, scroll away. Baba we pukulu. And it's night time. I'm getting ready for bed. Who wears makeup at nearly midnight? Uh so bullying did help somehow. Um then we have rights in nearly all constitutions in the world. We have rights of speech, rights of opinion, and yet nowadays it's limited. Um, you're told not to, you have a limit, don't exceed it, and yet you do have that right. Hi, Missy One, welcome. So, where are we on protecting children? And where are we on the stance of guiding them? Because also that is also a major factor. Because yeah, let's say like different cultures have a different way of, and also culture is a way of life. It's a different um how you teach your children day in day out. If you teach them to be disrespectful, they will become disrespectful when they grow up. If you teach them to be clean, neat, organized, same, they will become the same thing that you're teaching them from young age to adult life. Uh, but protection wise, I remember I used to have the stranger danger uh, talks, how you should not accept sweets from strangers, but we were never taught about the evil that is just around us, that is known. Because stranger danger helped us to be aware of crazy predators from people we didn't know, but we didn't teach you. Okay, for us, we were like, okay, for me personally, I was told to be cautious of anyone and everyone. But I know people who will trust more the people that they see around them than a stranger. And yet we have predators that are within the circle of people you know. You get what I mean? Yeah. So how do we do that to teach our kids to be cautious of everyone and anyone? Actually, that's it. Because we have had that saying of uh, it's better to handle the devil you know than the angel you don't. That's mean the angel is there. So the same thing like applies. Be cautious of anyone and everyone. That was a draining topic. Still draining right now. I'm watching the BBC documentary of the young girls being trafficked here in Kenya, and officials know about it. No one has been arrested. And that's the other thing. Such cases are brought up in police, reported to the police, brought up in law of courts, and then you find the people being released. Uh, yeah, they say money talks, but can't we just be the way we say we are civil? That's not civilization. Because if that's civilization, I'd rather go to the traditional laws, where when they realize you're a thief, or you're actually, that's a being a thief, stealing a child's innocence, they will cast you out. But now you're being cast out, you take your problem to another town, still a problem. But anyway, I wish we can get a solution to this problem. I hear some countries are becoming stricter, um, ordering castration for this the people found guilty about doing abusing children, and life imprisonment. That's here in Kenya. That's actually the law. If you found to abuse children, the sentence is life imprisonment, because death row was removed from our country's law. So the maximum you get is life imprisonment. So if it is implemented, it can really help to protect the children. That's actually what I believe, and I'm hoping. I've seen the juvenile courts are there. They have been revived. There's a time they were not active as much. Um, family courts are there, and some parents, stop using your children as weapons against, maybe if you're going through a tough divorce, stop using your children as weapons against your significant other, or the person you're living, or whichever, because the child will grow up and they will remember, and they will loathe you. Actually, not even hate, they will loathe you. And then you start asking yourself why a child has gone no contact with you. It's because of the actions you're taking. So protect your children, love them, and teach them. That's all I can say for today. And thank you all for those who joined. Until next Tuesday, same time or earlier time or later time. In questions, comments, thank you for the comments. Thank you for the likes. You keep on doing this. Until next time, bye.